Greetings, this is Warrior King, and the time has come for the lions and the lioness to tell their own story. This is the lion's voice. Give thanks and praise for the wonderful blessing that's been poured on me. Give thanks and praise. Jah use I as an instrument to set the people free. Jah give her the powers to chant. Jah give her the powers to chant. Ras Tafari, the lion's voice.
Well, front to us a son was born and a child was given.
I want to ask you a question. Have you got your book? Haile Selassie's Ethiopia Volume 1, The Rise of the Priest Warrior King. I've read the book in its entirety, and I must say it's very inspirational, very informative, and very historical, right?
Them call him Ras Tafari. When he was born, rain fall from the sky. Them call him Ras Tafari. When he was grown in airplanes he fly. They call him Ras Tafari. Lion break the chain, weep not, don't cry. Them call him Ras Tafari. Read the Revelation chapter 5 verse 5. Then born near the city of Harar, the inspiration from Bob Marley's guitar. People crowd him like some big superstar. It no matter if England.
So the wisdom of His Majesty, that's why I love His Majesty word sound so much, because you see His Majesty, he didn't teach a lot of knowledge and information and stuff like that. He gave us wisdom. He gave us wisdom. He gave us the application of that information. He never tried to persuade us in a certain direction. He would just spoke up of the application of thoughts, of ways, of perspective, of introspecting your way of conduct with whatever immediate amount of knowledge you possess at that time. Whatever knowledge you have right there, if you possess His Majesty's wisdom, you will be able to apply it greater than a man will have more information than you, you know?
And if we look at Yeshua, you know, when he was talking to farmers and fishermen, the parables are all very simple life examples that he's giving, you know, the thorn and the, you know, the wheat and the tears. These are all things that farmers and fishermen and simple people would understand. And that was the thing that pushed I over the edge to make me know this is real, because he was taking this esoteric knowledge and giving it to the people. And that is the power, you know.
Yes, sir. True
and
power.
The same thing like the I say, His Majesty, although he was studied in he was studied in Latin, he read all of the ancient languages, all of these manuscripts. His library was famous. You can read The Mission by Hans Lockhart. That's a Reading Ras reference. That, you know, His Majesty's librarian, and he talks about how many different languages His Majesty could read in.
Yes,
and how he had a photographic memory. All of these things, you know, once testify, but yet still, as you say, when you hear the speeches, it's very simple, plain language, you know, application of knowledge, touchable things. I'm opening a school, I'm opening a hospital, I'm, you know, inaugurating this road, this training center. Everything is works and movements, you know, development,
yes, sir.
Progress. So talk to us about the I progress. What is the I education? You know, and when was that moment when the I said, you know what, I man is Rastafari?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was blessed. I was treading Rastafari as like without Natty for a few years, you know, just gravitating towards the frequency of His Majesty, you know, reggae and certain aspects. But it wasn't really reggae for I. It was really just when I started to read the speeches of His Majesty, I felt fulfilled. I felt full, you know. It just felt like a different type of life and a different type of outlook and perception that was so well-rounded. When I read and study all the different people of the earth, all the different yogis and teachers, and they're sometimes one track. They specify in spirituality, or they specify in national building or unity or economics, or, you know, they're very divided. But with His Majesty, it is like you're compacted with every aspect of livity. And so since he was able to be in front of the world for so many years, I believe, 40 something years he reigned, That's a long time. He reigned longer than David, Solomon. He's the longest reigning king to sit upon the throne ever, you know? So, you know, when a man is able to be sat on a throne for so long and for people to hear his words for so long, he's left more information and more words and direction than any other person in the earth. So since this is a fact, right, there should not be any confusion. But the confusion comes not from the foundation of Keramoy Haile Selassie, it comes from the egotistical man. And with me, I have to check myself because I looked at myself as this great I am. I used to call myself, running around telling people I'm a God, you know, God, God, virgin, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And in a sense, you are, because you are what your father is, and you are
Yes.
a God, but you are a God of a smaller aspect of an extension. You're like the branch, and the Almighty is like the root. You know, you cannot compare a branch to the root because even if the branches fall off, the root remains. And so we have to humble ourselves, but it's very difficult to learn about your divinity, learn about your ancient civilizations that you've established, the divine natures of our ancestors. It's hard to learn of these things and still remain level-headed and humbled. It is a very difficult task. This is why when you grow, you must grow in knowledge and wisdom and overstanding. And the overstanding will lead you back to a humbled state because you will overstand that what you know and the power you possess is coming from a source that is greater than you could even imagine. You know what I mean? Because even in
We're starting on what you
I,
probably
I, I
didn't
got
call it.
a I got a phone call. A phone call came through.
Yeah, yeah. Put it on.
So
You can put
even
it on. Do not disturb if you can. We're working it out, family. Big up
technology.
Empress. Yeah, big up Empress Genie. Lion Pride on Patreon in the place. Empress Genie, please put your business IG in the comments because we want Lion Pride go and support. Sistren does natural hair. She's a natural hair specialist. She's also our first guest on Lion Love. Sistren was so transparent with I classic episode. Really set a good foundation. We have 2 episodes of Lion Love up on the channel. Make sure you subscribe. We're getting ready. We have the 3rd episode already recorded. Getting ready to drop that shortly. Rastafari Sistren speaking on the challenges. And I'm going to ask the eye about the Sistren them same way because Rastafari Liberty had commented on one of the episodes of Lion Love. So we're going to find out if the brethren is single, all them thing there,
Yes,
what
I. Yes, I.
relationships. So,
Yes, I.
but
Yes,
yeah,
I.
man, so
Listen, that I can hear right now.
yeah, man, you hear the eye
Yes, I.
beautifully. So yeah, so just bring us again to you said that you
Yeah.
used to call
Yes,
yourself
I.
God, and now you realize you're humble
Yeah.
forward and
Yes,
humble
I.
forward.
Yes, I. Yes, I. Yes, I. And you know, the greatest thing is to reach a higher power, you must submit to a higher power. It's like when you graduate culinary school, you are a chef, but then you must go work in a restaurant and you must work with a master chef. And you must humble yourself to this master chef. Even though you've graduated, you have your degree, and you have your ability, you still must humble oneself because even though you've mastered it on paper, you have not had the application. And so Keramoy Haile Selassie came to be a blueprint for us. And so, you know, he pointed us to someone. He pointed us not to himself. He pointed us to Yahshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christus, Jesus the Christ. And
Yes.
and the people who try to belittle him and try to say he's allegorical or esoteric, it is like the most insulting thing to the nature of your being. Because in one of the proverbs of the Tuahido faith, it says that God became man so man could become God. You know,
Mm.
this is what they say in the faith, yo. So this is deep. It's because Adam made us fall. He took away that divine connection with the Almighty because he fell to his fleshy, lower ways. And since he fell to his lower ways, Christ came and redeemed and brought us back to our divine nature to be temples of God, not just creations. And this is the difference between us, like in a Muslim brethren. I love my Muslim brethren, but there's a difference that they don't believe that we are children of the Almighty. They just see human beings as mere creations. You see, within the Tewahedo Christian faith, it is a deep spirituality that causes people to run away from Christianity. They say Christianity is not spiritual, but it's because they are unbelievers to the heights of the physical and the spiritual coming together to magnify miracles, to walk on water, to heal the blind. They'll say those things are metaphorical because they have not the ability to do so, so they belittle the ability to do it. They say, oh, since, I heard an elder, I won't say a name, but I heard an elder saying, like, if I'm gonna believe in the miracles of Christ, then I'm a fool. And it reminded me of, like, say if you went to somebody's neighborhood, right, Bridget, and you see an Empress, and you say, yo, Bridget, now who that? And the Bridget said, yo, no even watch her, Bridget. She not getting enough play, Bridget. Just because he couldn't get the Empress, he believes you can't. And a lot of these people, they disrespect Yahshua HaMashiach because they can't do what he did.
Haile Selassie the First, the Almighty. Had the might of the Trinity, Lord. It's just much pussy, yeah. Well, one thing me ask the Callis them, who's that playing with your children? Have you met them mama new boyfriend? Abuse, ask when will the cycle end? Then one thing me ask the Callis them, who's that playing with your children? Have you met them mama friend boyfriend? For the youths, gotta keep our eyes open. Started on the plantation, taught to breed and leave woman. The pain that we feel when we lose a son. They stole our daughters in a Babylon then. Gotta find ways to cope. Sex, that's what they promote. Feel stress, been trying to float. It's a mess, that's why we burn the boat. One thing me ask gal is them, who's that playing with your children? Have you met their mama new boyfriend? Abuse, ask when will the cycle end? Then one thing me ask gal is them, who's that playing with your children? Have you met their mama friend boyfriend? For the youths, we gotta keep our eyes open. Him happy saying him Joe grind, out a road and a wasting time. Him have a daughter that him not mind, daughter have a daddy that she can't find. Son only see him daddy some of the time, so son them friend put him son in a crime. Look how the family a decline, look how the might of the Trinity shine.